Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today we're gonna listen to Boba drink water because as soon as I start filming, what do the dogs do? Drink water. Abnormally loudly. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, cough about it. You okay? Oh my God, you okay? Are you okay? I'm sorry I was dragging you. Okay, can everybody take two? Okay, the dogs are calm. Let's try that again. Today I'm gonna be doing the Thrilling Thrillers book tag, but updated. So this tag video I filmed probably like 6 months ago. It's almost at 10,000 views, which I'm like, huh? That's literally 10 times the views that I normally get. So I don't know, I guess y'all like really like that tag or something. But all of those books and all of those picks that I did for the Thrilling Thriller book tag are a little bit outdated at this point, and it's still getting a ton of views, so I figured I would film an updated tag for you so you can know what I'm reading now instead of know what I'm reading like 6-7 months ago. Yeah, this is the new updated Thrilling Thriller book tag. I absolutely love this tag. I think it's a great way to just summarize the thrillers you've been loving, not loving, just thinking about recently. And obviously I will link the original tag and creator down below, as well as my previous version of this tag if you haven't seen that yet and you're just curious. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the tag. Let's talk about some thrillers. The first question is, what is the thriller that you have most recently bought? And I actually was at Half Price Books the other day getting one of my friends a gift card for her birthday. As soon as I get into the fucking questions, now he's drinking water. Hydrated queens. At least my dogs are hydrated queens. All right, so it's in Half Price Books. I told myself I wasn't gonna buy anything, but I just took a quick little peek in the clearance section and I found the arrangement by Robin Harding for $2. And I was like, you know what? It's $2. Let me just go ahead and buy it. So this is my most recent purchase. It's been on my TBR for quite a while. I do enjoy Miss Robin Harding quite a bit. So I'm very excited to get into this one. Robin Harding thrillers always have a lot of like drama, like trashy drama. Like people are cheating on each other and murdering each other for money. Like that is the kind of drama that I'm living for. It's very domestic, very suburban. And this one is following a college student. I think she's like an art student in New York City. So it is also set in New York. Love that setting. And she goes online and tries to find a sugar daddy because she's broke. Honestly, relate. Like I've never found a sugar daddy because I found my fiance like within 6 months of moving to my college town.
I know that makes me sound very Amish, but it's fine.
But yeah, one of my roommates in college actually had a sugar daddy, so relatable queen. But she ends up getting really attached to her sugar daddy and becoming absolutely obsessed with him, and she wants him to like leave his wife and kids for her, and obviously he's not going to let her ruin his entire life. So drama ensues, murder ensues, I'm sure. I'm very excited for it. This thriller, this random purchase coming into my life. And the next question is, what is the thriller that you have most recently added to your TBR? So I actually have this one physically because as soon as I added this one to my TBR, I had to buy it. Like I heard rave reviews and the description just sounded so interesting and so like exactly my reading taste right now that I had to buy it immediately. So usually I buy my books secondhand. I don't like to pay full price for them, or I get them from the library. but I just had to pick up Mine by J.L. Butler on Amazon. I know, I supported Jeffrey Bezos. Come on, Jeffrey, you can do it. Pave the way, put your back into it. I'm sorry, I supported Mr. Jeff. He got some of my coin because this one just sounded so good. I can't remember who exactly I heard about this from. I think it was maybe just like the internet was really buzzing about this thriller. It is a romantic thriller, and I've been super into that lately, especially since I've been loving the Deanna Madden series by A.R. Torre. And it's also a legal thriller, which I love. And it's set in the UK. This was made for me. So this book follows a divorce lawyer, and she actually falls for one of her clients. So she starts dating one of the guys she's representing, and obviously he's divorcing his wife, so she's like,
y'all are done, right?
but it doesn't quite seem like they're done. So she's very suspicious, and then all of a sudden the wife goes missing. So she's like,
did my boo and also my client just kill his fucking wife?
That sounds amazing. Also, I love romance elements in thrillers lately, so I'm very excited for that. And it also says on the cover, a novel of obsession. Hello, I love obsession in thrillers. You by Caroline Kepnes, freaking all of Robin Harding's books. Like, I'm so ready to get into this book. The next question is, what is the most disappointing thriller you have read recently? I have two answers for this. One of them was just so absolutely bad that I was disappointed that I wasted my time reading it. And one I actually had high hopes for, and it was very disappointing that it didn't reach those hopes. So the first one, I'll just go ahead and get the 1 star out of the way. It is If I Disappear by Eliza Jane Brazier. Thank God I didn't spend my actual coin on this. I just picked her up from the library. That's why she's all shiny. I was hearing pretty mixed reviews about this book. I know a lot of people didn't like it. That's why I didn't spend money on it, and I just got it from the library. But I was like, you know what? I'll give her a try. Like, she sounds interesting. I'll get into it. And it's about this girl who is obsessed, love obsession, with this true crime podcaster, and the podcast suddenly stops. So she thinks that the podcaster herself has actually gone missing and is possibly involved in a true crime situation. So she drives out to the podcaster's home. She lives on like a ranch with her family, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm just like looking for work. And she starts working on this ranch and trying to uncover what happened to this podcaster. It sounds like a very weird but very interesting thriller premise, so I was into it. I was ready. And it's also written in the second person, very much like You by Caroline Kepnes, which is one of my favorite thrillers of all time. So I was like, you know what, I'm down. And I did love the overall vibes. There were some really great horror elements, especially like graphic body horror and just gross, unsettling imagery. Very much like I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It was giving me those vibes. So I'm like, could she be a new fave? And then the middle just dragged so freaking much. It was so hard to get through. And then when I finally got to the ending twist, I was like, are you kidding me? I guessed this on like page 30. And then I got to the epilogue and I was like, well, maybe there'll be like a big final twist that I actually didn't guess. And there was, but it was horrible. Like, actually the most horrible twist I've ever read in a thriller. So I gave it 1 star. I'll talk about it more in depth in my wrap up. And then the thriller that I actually did have high hopes for that unfortunately let me down was The Minders by John Mars. This was the follow-up to The One and The Passengers, which I gave both of those. I gave the one 5 stars and I gave The Passengers 4.5 stars. So I really enjoyed those books. And this one was set in the same universe. It kind of follows the aftermath of that, and I'm not going to get into describing this premise because number 1, I don't want to entice you to read it, it's bad, and number 2, it is just so convoluted. Like, I don't even think I could accurately explain what this book is about, but it is a sci-fi thriller, and there were just way too many perspectives. It was so confusing, and I just absolutely didn't care about any character except for one. There was one singular character that I cared about, and spoiler alert, she dies. So yeah, this book was trash. The next question is, what are some tropes in thrillers that you love and some that you hate? I'll start out with some tropes that I love because I feel like I've already been talking about them in this video. My number one is obsession. If there's a stalker, if there's like a weird outside person that's like looking into this relationship and becoming obsessed with one of the partners, like, ooh, I just love that trope. I think obsession and like stalking is so interesting. I also like serial killers. I like when there's a true crime feel to my thrillers. I love romantic elements in thrillers. I obviously love thrillers set in the UK. That is kind of my thing. I absolutely love just like the British style of writing thrillers. Like the language just speaks to my soul, especially if it's like a UK suburb. Oh, like a London suburb.
Shopping on High Street with my baby.
Oh my God, that's my favorite. I love all suburban drama though. So Sherry Lapina, set in the United States, Southern girl down the road, like give it to me. And obviously I'm a huge fan of big, shocking twist endings. Some tropes that I hate in thrillers are detective slash police slash investigator perspectives, or mystery or thriller that relies on that kind of trope or that kind of perspective. I really am not into it. I also really dislike too many perspectives. 3, 4, that's my cap. Any more than that, I don't know what's going on. I've also found that I don't like podcast elements in my thrillers. It actually takes away from the main thriller plotline for me. The only book with a podcast element that I've really enjoyed is The Night Swim by Megan Golden, so I highly recommend that. But really hyped books with podcast elements like Sadie, this one, I just find that I really don't enjoy them. And I don't like thrillers that feature girls who are obsessed with true crime either. I've found that just, it feels gross to me. It feels like contrived, because obviously I'm a true crime obsessed girl. Like, I have nothing against liking true crime and being interested in that subject. I don't think that is gross. But I do think it's gross when an author tries to like capitalize on that and like have a main character that's like, look reader, she's just like you.
She listens to my favorite murder, just like you. Stay sexy and don't get murdered.
Like, it seems forced to me and I don't like it. Sorry. The next question is to recommend an underrated thriller, and I have the perfect thriller for you for summer. I hear nobody talk about this, and the people I do hear talk about this book don't like it, and that is just very confusing to my little brain, because I love this book, and that is Something in the Water by Catherine Steadman. And I can 100% admit this is not a perfect book, but if you're looking for a poolside beach read, you know, something for the summer that's going to give you the tropical vacation vibes, but also be very thrilling, very entertaining, very drama filled, this is perfect for you. This book is super high stakes. It's about a couple that is very rich, very bougie. Oh my God, I love reading about bougie, rich characters. So if you're into that too, this is perfect for you. And this couple goes on their honeymoon in Bora Bora. The vibes, the descriptions, immaculate. And while they're there on their honeymoon, they find a bag in the ocean that is filled with many nefarious objects. And they end up getting sucked in to this entire world of crime and illegal activity in Bora Bora. It like goes all the way up to the top kind of thing. It's very much a moral dilemma kind of thriller where you're reflecting as you're reading, like, what would I do in this situation? Because
low-key, I want to steal like $1 million. Like, low-key, if I find a bag with like $1 million in it, I'd probably keep it.
And then would I end up in this like crazy scenario where I'm getting stalked by killers? Like, it is crazy. And I don't know why it has so many bad reviews, because I had a great time reading it. I didn't give it a 5-star. It's not like an all-time fave, but so fun, so underrated. The next question is also really fun. It says to show 3 thrillers, 1 that you haven't read and 2 that you have. And you guys in the comments get to guess or if you watch all my videos, then you would know the answer to this. Say in the comments which one I haven't read. So I will show you these three. I have The Good Samaritan by John Mars, Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough, and He Started It by Samantha Downing. Tell me which one I haven't read if you truly know. The next question says to recommend some thrillers for thriller newbies, people new to the genre. If you're not a well-versed thriller reader, I think these would be some good entry-level books for you. The first one is An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lapina. This one is a very basic whodunit style plotline, murder mystery with an isolated setting. It's about all of these people who are snowed in at a B&B, and they start being picked off one by one. It's super riveting. I couldn't guess the killer. It's very cozy, perfect for the winter time, and very approachable for somebody who is new to mystery thrillers. I would also recommend Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. This one is very drama-filled. It follows some bougie suburban moms in Monterey, California, and they're just dealing with their children's birthday parties and their workout classes and all of these things. And then suddenly something happens that shakes their community. And there's a ton of more interesting subplots. There is a ton of drama. It's super easy to get into and fly through, and it's a great introduction to the thriller genre. If you're looking for more recommendations like that, I actually have an entire video recommending thrillers for newbies to the genre, and I broke it down by category. So like if you usually read sci-fi fantasy, these are the thrillers you should start with. If you usually read nonfiction, these are the thrillers you should start with. That kind of a format. So I will link that up above and down below. And that video was actually a collab with Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages, and she did a reading vlog trying out some of my thriller newbie recommendations, and she ended up really liking some of them. So I will link her video down below as well. And the last question of this tag is, what is your favorite thriller of all time? Wow. That is a huge question. Like, obviously we know what it is, but there's so many that I wish I could talk about, but I don't want this video to be a million years long. So I will just say what we're all thinking. Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. There's nothing better. Nothing will ever top this book. However, I did read a thriller this year that has come pretty damn close to reaching the levels of Pretty Girls. And that is Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. I know I won't shut up about this book. I think it's so amazing. And these two are definitely my top two thriller picks of all time, but there's so many others that I want to talk about, like Survive the Night by Riley Sager is a very new favorite of all time. Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris is hands down one of my all-time favorite thrillers. You by Caroline Kepnes. Like, there are just so many that I love, but if I had to narrow it down to one, Pretty Girls, but I have to mention this one. If you like this one, you like this one. If you like this one, you like this one. You can't go wrong with either of these thrillers. And that is going to be it for today's video. If you like thrillers and you want to try out this tag, I tag you to do this tag as well. Let's bring it back. Let's start it circulating again, because I love this tag and I would love to hear about the thrillers that you guys like. So go ahead and film this video if you have a channel, and thank you guys so much for watching me do this tag yet again. If you liked the video, don't forget to actually like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!